What's up YouTube, and welcome back to Homebrew Subaru. In this episode I'm going to finish the exhaust and build a custom up pipe for the turbo. What's up everyone? So the exhaust on this WRX has been something that's kind of been making me chase my tail a little bit. I thought I was going to use the NA exhaust with the previously modified up pipe that I had. Found out that wasn't going to fit, so I ordered the WRX header with up pipe. I had to modify the header, and now it's at the point that I have to build a custom up pipe because of the angling of the turbo that I have that meets up with the rest of the exhaust that I built years ago. Anyways, so I've had to get a couple more pieces. We're going to go through them quickly, and then I'm just going to get straight to work because I know this is going to probably take me quite a long time. Okay, so this is basically the plan of attack that I've come up with. I need to get this 2.5 inch outlet on the header pipe down to 2 inch for the up pipe. And the reason basically is this flange is just so large that the up pipe that connects to it is also way too large to get past the single overhead cam heads. So I know it's basically the other way around, but getting this thing through is just so difficult. And even though it'll fit when I kind of jack up the engine a little bit and stuff this through, it's just not going to be worth it, and it's going to be more of a pain in the ass than anything. So I've decided to go with a V-band, and how I'm going to do this is I got a 2.5 inch V-band flange that will get welded onto the end of the header pipe here. Something like this. Anyway, you get the idea. And then I've got this, it's not as thick as this 2 inch stainless pipe, but it's an adapter flange from 2.5 to 2 inch, and it is like a polished mild steel. It's basically all I could find to do this, and it will kind of go in there like that, and then I'll have the pipes to weld to it to get to the up pipe and put the flange on the end of it in the position that I want the turbo. So I've got some welding to do to begin with. I'm gonna start with getting the V-band onto the adapter and the header. I'm probably gonna have to take off the wrap and redo it, get this cleaned up, get these pieces welded, and then I can start positioning back in the car to figure out how I'm going to make these pipes all fit. So I've got these two pieces finished. The header wrap I had to take completely back off to weld this flange back on. I just didn't want my splatter from my flux welding kind of going into it and causing little holes. But I got the V-band welded on there really nice, and this coupler, it's a little thin. I did blow a hole in it, and the welding is sloppy as can be, but it is 100% sealed. And then I'd be able to put it on here, and it's got maybe like a 5 to 10 degree offset, so I can turn this in a better location to weld the rest of the pipe onto it. So I'm ready to stab this back onto the car. I've got some new gaskets for basically everything, and I do have the new O2 sensor to put in, but I'm going to put up the header, bolt it into place, and then start sitting the up pipe pieces together. This is going to be the more difficult section of the pipe because the turbo's already in place, the header's already in place, and I'm making a section that's going in between the two, so there's going to be some more sloppy welding, I'm sure. So I just wanted to show you where I'm at before I get too far. I've got the turbo sitting back in place, kind of just being propped up by this hammer a little bit in the intercooler. Moved that harness down low so the intercooler's got lots of clearance now. I've got the flange bolted to the bottom of the turbo, and then I've got the header bolted in place. It's not completely torqued, but it's on there. And I've got my next segment on with the V-band, but I've also added another little section, probably 2 inches long, with a little offset to it, so I can turn that entire piece and kind of get it to line up a little better from where it is. And then I can kind of turn it so that I can eyeball kind of where it lines up to the bottom of this flange. A couple hours later, quite a few cuts, I finally have something together anyway. There's a little pie cut in here to kind of join this upper pipe with this lower piece, and I think I've got it pretty much to the point that I can take it back out of the car and weld it all up and clean it, paint it, wrap it, and then get it back in the car. So I'm pretty sure I'm gonna have to take out the intercooler and turbo to get it back out at this point, and hopefully there's no major gaps that I have to fill. I finally have the up pipe all finished. It's painted, wrapped, I've got it installed, clamped at the bottom, bolted at the top. The turbo's in place. May take it out at another time to either paint it or replace it. I kind of want to see if it starts to blow oil or not. It's an old turbo, I rebuilt it a long time ago without like any kind of precision, so it's done very, very well. I'm hoping that it kind of works out for me. I ended up replacing the 2 water lines going to it and got them all clamped up, and got some O2 sensors in. We'll take a look from the bottom. Because I got the front of the car off, you can get a really good look in here. There's probably a 1/2 inch clearance on either side of the up pipe in between the cross member and the cylinder head. The O2 sensor is very close to the shackle, and there's at least a 1/4 inch there, but it being on the absolute end of the rocking motion of the engine, I have to be very wary of that. I'm gonna have to check to see if it ends up making contact with that rear urethane mount that I have in the back here. Actually, you can't see it, the dog bone that I have in there. This thing doesn't really move very much, so I'm not gonna have to worry about it moving around, I don't think, but I'm certainly gonna have to double check everything. Even the downpipe is extremely close to the firewall. So yeah, now that I finally have that all finished, I'll just tell you, it has taken me all day long. I started this morning, worked all the way till the evening, from modifying that header to building the entire up pipe to, you know, wrapping it and getting a couple other things rearranged. It's taken me all day. I'm really glad that it's done though, because the exhaust was something that was really holding me up on this thing. And now that it's all customized and welded together the way that I want it, it's basically a real custom fit. So I went to go drop the up pipe in and it just kind of like slid right into place. It was really nice. There's a couple of other little things that I need to do. I do need some return hose, like a 5/8 oil hose for the oil return on the turbo. I know I need to get a little bit of fuel line. So there's a couple little things that still need to be done in that respect. But really it's just getting the radiator and the hoses, some cooling fans, and then I'm pretty close to starting this thing. So if you like this video, definitely give it a thumbs up, and if you're new here and you haven't already, please consider hitting that subscribe button for me. Leave your questions and comments further down below, and I'll see you in the next one.